Okay. Hello, everyone. This is part 2 of chapter 3.
Here we go.
Yep. Whoa.
All right.
Okay. So remember, you have a note that you need to fill out, right? So on the note, please, there's a section asks you to write down 3 words that describe you. So write these 3 words down. And then after you write down these 3 words, you need to tell us, like, how do you know this is about you? Okay, how do you know these 3 words, like, it describe you? Okay, so this is the activity that you need to do on the note, and then you need to submit the note on Blackboard. Okay.
Yeah, this is a good activity because that can be, oh, people tell me this, they've told me this, which is going to go along with what we're going to talk about now, or you just somehow know it yourself. I like that.
Okay. Then after this, then we are going to talk about perception and self. So the first part of chapter 3 is about perception. Okay, how we, like, the stages of perception from selection, organization, and interpretation. Now we want to know, like, how perception, the relation between perception and self. So first thing, perception of self affects communication. Okay, how you see yourself will impact how you communicate with other people. Also, how you communicate with other people will impact how you view yourself. Okay, so these two are related to each other, influence each other. Okay, and self-concept is about image of who we are. Okay, who am I? And how do I want other people to see me?
Right. Right. So it's your overall identity, how you feel about yourself, how you see yourself in the world. And as it says, this affects a lot of your communication. So it's usually a subjective description of who you are, rather than, I guess, unless you look at yourself for how much money you're worth, right? Then that would be objective. But it's usually a subjective description of yourself. And again, how you see yourself as a person. Are you someone who looks forward to getting up in the morning and starting your day, or do you just usually hate most things? Kind of depends on the day, I think, for most people.
So this is it's deeply rooted and slow to change. So remember the activity I asked you to do. Okay, 3 words that you describe yourself. So this is your self-concept. Like, who do you think you are? Okay, you think, oh, I'm a professor, I'm Asian, I'm a female, okay, I'm friendly. So these are the image I have for myself. How about yours? And it's deeply rooted and slow to change. Like, when you say you are a Hispanic, or like I say I'm a Asian, it will not change. You'll be there.
Right, and you hear a lot of times people say, I'm an extrovert, which means you get your energy from outside influences, or I'm an introvert, I prefer to have the energy come within me. I'm a procrastinator, or I'm driven, however you see yourself.
So
right?
It's like deeply rooted in yourself. Okay, so here are some examples. You could be a mother, a daughter, a brother, or you could be, oh, I'm a friendly person, I'm an outgoing person, I'm shy. So this is your self-concept, it's your self-image.
And don't worry if you've never thought of this before, like, oh, I've never really thought about what kind of person I am, or what my self-concept is of myself. That's fine, and that's actually kind of great, because here's your chance.
Okay, so let's talk more about self-concept. Self-concept is the first one, shaped by others. Okay, how you view yourself is actually shaped by others. Like, if when you were little, your parents may say, oh, such a cute boy, oh, such a smart boy, such a smart girl, and then you will start to think, yes, I'm smart, yes, I'm cute. Okay, so your concept is shaped by others. Okay, so we learn who we are from the feedback of other people. I say, oh, yes, very smart. Or for negative, if you always pick up by your parents, then you will think, oh, you probably will think I'm always not good enough. So what you think who you are is shaped by other people.
That one is very common, I think. That one, the last one of your parents or people in your life kind of nitpicking you or expecting more from you all the time, and you feel, your self-concept is lower, because of that. And I think that speaks to when you said deep-rooted. It's very deep-rooted and hard to change. That takes a lot of work, to get past that. But if that is you, just know that realizing it is the first step. And this is a great one.
Yeah.
We form this self-concept of ourselves based on what other people think. So if no one ever laughed at your jokes, would you think you were funny? If you think you're a nice person, you feel like you're, let's say, friendly, nice, caring, respectful person because of what other people have told you, right? Because they have told you that, oh my gosh, I love it that you always bring me coffee. I love it that you, are so good to my kids, or that you hang around me and everything. That's how we know that. If somebody said to our face or, posted that, we weren't very nice ever, it would be hard for us to think, oh, I'm a really nice person. That would influence that.
Yeah, so self-concept is shaped by others. This first thing. Next one, self-concept is subjective. Okay, so here's them. Can you tell someone's exact height and weight by looking at them? Can you tell how tall I am by just looking at my appearance, right? So, or how heavy, or how, so you probably will not know. So it's very subjective. You can always say, oh, this person probably, since she's Asian, maybe she's not tall. Okay, so you have your stereotype, or you can guess. So it's very subjective. And also when you say tall or high or heavy, or, if you say someone is heavy, you have another person or another image to compare. That's why we say it's subjective.
Very good.
And also, self-concept is endure and change. So we develop our self-concepts over a long period of time. Like what we say, from when we were young, we start to build our self-concept. So it's really hard to change, even when we grow up. So if you think, oh, I'm confident, if you see a little boy or little girl, grow up in a environment that's very encouraging. Maybe when the kids grow up, he will have a lot of confidence about himself or herself, more than the other group of people.
Right. Yeah. And sometimes that can work the other way too, where you think, oh, I can't do anything wrong. I'm just it. I'm the...
Yeah, so sometimes good and bad.
Yeah, because you've only been told the good things, and no one has tried to help you with the things, right, that you're not so great at.
But also, self-concept can be changed. So significant events such as marriage, a death of a loved one, can also change our self-concept. So marriage is like, if I marry another person, then I change my self-identity, like who I see myself. Like I probably will change. Okay, so I'm Wan-Ling Chen now, but if I marry to another person, I think I'm this person's partner, I'm this person's wife.
Yeah, and the death of a loved one can be, and maybe you've experienced this, where one of your, let's say your father passes away, and now you're the man or the woman of the house, that, you take on that identity because that has shifted your role.
Yeah. And less self-concept is multifaceted.
Multifaceted.
So it's about our religion, gender, profession, age. So when you see yourself, again, go back to check the 3 words that you describe yourself. You probably talk about, I'm a brother, I'm a athlete, I'm female, I'm a teacher. So like it includes very different, many different things to see yourself.
Oh, we're going to talk about the Johari window, which I love. Okay. All right, here we go. Yeah. This is actually, if you're not familiar with this, it's very interesting. So first of all, it's made up of 4 different areas. Open concept about ourselves. That's things that are known to ourselves and known to others both. Blind, which are things that are known to others, but we're blind about that, right? It's not known to us. And these are very kind of easy to remember, I feel like, because they're very self-explanatory in the terms. Unknown to others and unknown to us is hidden, right? And unknown to others, but known to us, is hidden. We've hidden it from people, right? If somebody knows something about us and we don't know it, we're blind. If we know something about ourselves and that someone else doesn't, right, it's hidden. And then there's the unknown. It's not known to the other person, or it's not known to us. That could be things like when we're going to pass on. We don't know when that's going to be. It could be also a deep-rooted, like we talked about, something that's happened to you that has affected you, and you don't realize how much something's affected you, but it affects your self-concept, how you communicate. So you or the other person you're communicating with does not know that either. Okay. Now back to open concept would be, oh, this is known to other people and it's known to me. And those are those things like our height, weight, what we look like, all of that. People may know close to you, oh, what you like to eat, what you like to do for fun, all of that, what type of person, you are. Things that we're blind about that's unknown to us, but other people know is, I always think of, I don't know, I think I probably still do this. When I talk, there's a little bit of a whistle sometimes when I say my S's, and I'm cognizant of it because people have pointed it out to me right now, but I didn't know that for the longest time. So that was known to others, but I was blind about that. I didn't realize that was the case with me. And sometimes we talk to people in a manner and we don't realize. Right?
But since your friend told you about this, so from blind to open.
Yes, okay. Exactly. Then it's open. Now I know about it. Now I can.
This can change.
Okay?
Right. So your characteristic, your self-concept, your self-image can change from blind to open, or open to hidden. Okay.
Awesome. Yeah, that's great. And then the hidden one, which is it's unknown to others but known to us. So it's those things that you don't tell people, or that you only are selective about who knows certain things about you, right? And they can be very deeply personal or not, but we all have those. We all have those things that we're just not comfortable sharing with everyone. That's the hidden self. So know these, and it's actually really kind of fun, I think, to look at things that about us and wonder like where they realize where they fall in the window. Right. All right. Should we move on?
No. Okay. So here, unknown is like information about yourself that you and other people have not yet discovered. So these 4 block or 4 squared, sometimes you have bigger open area. Sometimes you have bigger hidden area or bigger blind area. Okay, so it's not always like, how do I say? Like, for 1/4 of open, 1/4 of blind. Sometimes maybe it's 2/3 of open self. Okay, so if you can, we used to have an activity like you need to think about who you are, and you write down how do I say? Descriptive about yourself, and then you ask other people how they think about you, and then you'll find out, open self, blind self, or hidden self is different.
Right. And which one you operate in mostly, right? Because think of it, people who keep things to themselves and don't share with others, right, which are they? They're hidden. They're hiding it, right? And most people who are the victim of gossip, right, are blind to things if people aren't telling it to their face, or you go out and you're just kind of an open book. We kind of tell people, a lot about us. You open. So it is rarely, I mean, if ever, would it be 4 blocks that would all be the same, right, amount.
No.
It'd be impossible. And
It'd
it
be
really
impossible.
isn't even anything to strive for necessarily. It just shows you here this way, right, to just make a point of what they are.
Yes. Okay, let's move.
Here we go.
Okay, then let's talk about face work. What is face work? Behaviors that we create or recreate and maintain the positive perception of ourselves. Okay, so basically, like, what we're trying to do is we are trying to have good impression when we face new people, when we have interaction, when we interact with other people, right? So we always want to see, oh, I'm a nice person, I'm a friendly person, right? So that's what we call face work. We try to manage it in our daily life.
We even say when you're getting ready, if you're getting ready to give like a big presentation or a job interview, we'll tell people, have your game face on. Right? Which means be in it, seem interested and friendly, everything you're talking about.
Right. So face work. So we have different faces. So the first one called fellowship face. It's an effort to fulfill the need to have others like and respect us. The second one called competence face. Can you talk about this?
Sure. Excuse me, the effort to promote our expertise on subjects to others so they respect us. We all know people who use this to a fault, right? They're too, we call them a know-it-all. They know everything. What they're really doing is they are using a competence face, but they're going overboard with it, right? But a competence face can be very productive too, right? So like, okay, here, I'm the graduate assistant, Dr. Chang's the professor, but I want her to think that I know something about this. I have some competency in communication. Fortunately, I ask a lot of questions, and she's great for answering and not being judgmental about no matter what the question is. That's important. But we want to seem competent, of what we're with what we're doing.
Right. And the last one is autonomy face. So the perception that we can do things on our own in our desire to avoid others making decisions for us. I think it happens a lot for teenagers. Okay, I am old enough to do this. Okay, I'm old enough to make my own decision. So a lot of time we will have autonomy face. So based on face work, we have fellowship face. It's like we want people to like us. So we want to be seen a friendly person. Competence, we want other people to think this person is capable, have ability to accomplish something. We want to have autonomy face. Like this person is desire to can make decision and take responsibility for himself or herself.
And you may be dealing with that right now. If you're living at your home, with your parents, you may be dealing with that a lot. How many times do you say, look, I'm a college student. I know what to do, or, I should be able to come home at the time I want to come home, or whatever that is. You're trying to set your autonomy.
So it's what we call face work. So another thing called face threats. This behavior that threaten your identity. So we experience stress to our fellowship phase when a first date doesn't go well. Okay, this is an example. So for fellowship phase, remember, we want to be seen as a nice person, a friendly person. So, but if your first date doesn't go well, you probably think, maybe this person think I'm boring. Maybe this person doesn't like me, and maybe this person doesn't think I'm a friendly person. Okay, that's what we call face threats. Okay, next.
Image management, the process of managing many selves across contexts and relationships. We do this all the time, right? You're going to act differently in class than you would when you're out with your friends. You're going to try to show some competency maybe on something in class that you wouldn't when you're with your friends. And if our image doesn't seem to be accepted by others, we adjust it until it's accepted, or we simply move on from the potential relationship with that individual, right? We do this all the time. And this is how you decide like who you're going to hang around with in your free time and who you're not going to, right? People who don't accept you and you're always feeling critical of yourself because of that, you're probably not going to spend a lot of time with those people, right? So that's why it says we simply move on. If we see that happening, because the potential for a stronger, solid relationship simply might not be there.
So we try to manage our images all the time. Okay. So the last part of this chapter. So remember, we want you, toward the end of the semester, we want you to become a competent communicator. And one important thing is you need to do self-monitoring. The ability to be aware of our own behavior and statements and how they affect other people. Okay.
So we all know these people, low self-monitors. They don't think before they speak. They just, it's out there. I have someone in my extended family like this.
Oh, really?
Yes. No editing. Then there's the high self-monitors, who you're very kind of overly aware of how other people might perceive you, or I shouldn't say overly aware, should I? That you have a high awareness of how other people might perceive you and your images and your messages, which is great. It's like we talked about in chapter 1. We stop and think, oh, how is this going to impact someone? What are they going to think of me or this issue after that? What if I was the receiver? How would I interpret this message, right? Those are high self monitors. Now, the goal is to have a balance between the two, right? So you're communicating spontaneously. You know, in other words, we try to make these videos a little bit of fun so that we're not just sitting here like reading a PowerPoint to you and, you know, a rehearsed speech. So there's some spontaneity here, which has probably become very obvious, right? But also with cognizance, also with an understanding that we're thinking through what we're telling you, because we think that it's important that you know this, and we want to try to present it in the best way possible. And even in any kind of relationship, your friends, your family, your coworkers, you know, your fellow students, you want to balance that too. It's important.
Right. So that's our goal, to become a competent communicator. Okay. So this is chapter 3. So in this chapter, we went over what is a perception, different stages of perception. Again, selection, organization, and interpretation. Okay. Also, how do we different attribute? What's this? External and internal attribution. So also, what's external attribution?
Like the surroundings?
Situational.
Yes.
It's also called situational. What's internal attribution?
About how you feel about yourself.
Interpersonal.
Yes.
So when you do things, you think, oh, this person doesn't call me or text me or like my post. It's because she doesn't like me. So it's more about interpersonal, internal attribution. Okay. And then on the second part of this chapter, we talk about self-concept and self-image. How do you see yourself? Okay, and what construct your self-concept? And the last one is how do we manage our public image? Be a high monitor, self-monitor. Okay, so this is chapter 3. If you have any question, you can send me an email, and then Mark and I will try to answer you.
And that may be a question on the test, right? Would be, you know, just like Dr. Chang asked here, right? Give me an example of this, of give me a stage of perception. It might be you give a scenario, right? And then you have to figure out from her, oh, here's how the person is operating in the Johari window, right? Or, oh, that's because they're in this stage of, you know, perception. So this is their face work is in this, you know, in this category. That's why they're acting like that. So it can go both ways.
Yeah. So this is chapter 3. If you have any questions, send us an email. Okay, bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.
How do you stop recording?